What's up, beautiful people? My name is Aliyah. Welcome back to my channel. I just want to say a big thank you to my subscribers. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you for liking, for sharing, and all that. And if you're new here or just seeing my tutorial for the first time, thank you so much for stopping by. And if my videos have helped you in any way, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And also don't forget to hit the notification bell for more videos like this. Okay, let's get into the video. So in today's tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to cut out and sew a short dress with a collar and a zipper at the center front. And these are the measurements you will need. So as you can see, I've already gone ahead to draw out my shoulder to bust, shoulder to waist, shoulder to hip line, and then the full length I'll be using for the dress. So if you haven't done that yet, just go ahead and then do that. So the full length I'll be using is 42. So if yours is way longer than mine, so just go ahead and extend yours at the bottom part. The next thing I went ahead to do was mark out my measurements here. So since we'll be adding 2 inch to the center front, I'll be stitching a plain fabric of about 2 inch to the center front here. I just went ahead to place my measurement. So whatever measurement you have, just subtract it by 2 inches and then mark it out. So after marking it out, I went ahead to add 1.5 allowance to my measurements. So my bust divided by 4 was 9.25. So I just marked out the 9.25 from this point here. And then I added 1.5 inch allowance. So that's what I did for the waist and for the hip measurements. I'm just gonna go ahead and then connect my measurement like so. So when it comes to the hem measurement, you can go ahead and then use the hip measurement you used here for this point here. But for me, I'll just blend it all the way to the tip. So the next thing I went ahead to do was, since we are cutting the front, I will be extending this the center front here by 2 inches. I'm not going to mark out the neckline yet. After joining the 2 inches plain fabric to the center front, I'll now go ahead and then mark out my neckline. So I went ahead to mark out my neckline width. So like I said, we'll be adding 2 inches here. So I'll be using 3.5 for the neckline width at this point. From this place, we're gonna be marking our shoulder width. So to get your shoulder width, you'll be taking your across back. Yeah, across back divided by 4. So my across back is 16. 16 divided by 4 is 4 inches. So I just went ahead and then marked 4 inches at this point. And since it's our shoulder, we'll be sloping it down by 1 inch here. Then we'll be connecting it from here to this point. So after marking out my shoulder slope, I went ahead to extend the line to this point. So this is my chest line here. And to get a chest line, you can just come up 2 inches from the bust line at this point. So I just drew a straight line from the slope here to that point. Then I extended my bust to this point here also. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find the middle. I'm gonna find the midpoint of the armhole from this point here. I'm having 7.25, so 7.25 divided by 2. Okay, that's here. So on that point, you just go in by 1/2 inch, like so. Then you use your curve to mark out the armhole from this point all the way to the shoulder slope. So we're done inputting all the measurements. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it out. So since we don't have the neck line drawn yet. I'll just start cutting from the shoulder slope at this point. So it's time to cut our back. Since the front we subtracted it by 2 inches, the back we're just going to replace that 2 inches because the back is just going to be normal. We'll not be adding anything. So I went ahead and then marked 2 inches. Then I placed the center front on the 2 inches like so. Then I just went ahead and then pinned it throughout. So for the back neckline, we'll be maintaining our 3.5 at this point. We're making it 3.5 by 1 inch. If you want to use 1.5 too, it's fine. So I'll just go ahead and then draw it like so. If you're not very good at drawing, you can just use your curve to join them to meet. The next thing I went ahead to do was the armhole. After finding the midpoint, which is this point here, I just went ahead to add 1/2 inch here. Then I blended it all the way to the top here and all the way to this point like so. So after drawing in your armhole, just mark out the point here. Just connect it from the 3.5 you came in to the armhole like so. And then we are done with the back. So I'm just going to go ahead and then cut out the back. So this is how it will look like after we are done cutting it out. Well, the front neckline looks a bit funny because we haven't cut it out yet. So after joining our plain fabric to this point, then we'll go ahead and then cut it out. So I'm going to go ahead and then open the center front like so. So I'll be using this lovely sateen for my as my plain fabric. You can go ahead and then use any other plain fabric of your choice. So what I just went ahead to do was I marked out 2.5 inches. 2.5 because I'll be stitching 1/2 inch allowance to the center front. So I'll be cutting 2 of these strips because I'll be using one for this side and then one for the other side. So to know how long you are going to cut your strip, you're just going to measure from this point of your center front here all the way to this part, to the bottom part. I'm having 44.5. So that's the measurement I'll be using to cut my strip. So after cutting out my strips, I went ahead and then pressed my hard stiff or violin or gum stay inside here. So I went ahead and then cut 2 inches since we'll be stitching 2 inches. But you know, with this one we cut 2.5. But for the stiff you cut 2 inches so that there'll be 1/2 inch allowance space for you to stitch there. So the next thing I'm gonna go ahead to do is I'm going to be joining it on my center front like so. Make sure the part that doesn't have the stiff faces the right side of the fabric. Then I'm just gonna pin it and then take it to my machine and then sew it straight down. So I'm done stitching it and then pressing it. So in order to get the front neckline, I'm just gonna put them on each other like this. Make sure it's properly placed on each other. Then I'm gonna go ahead and then put my neckline measurement. I'll be using 3.5 here. And for the neckline width, you know we use 3.5. And that's the part I notched here. So that's it. So I use 3.5 by 3.5 at this point. And I'm just gonna use my curve to draw out the neckline. So after cutting out the neckline, this is how your neckline will look like. So the next step I went ahead to do was I joined my front to my back like this, and then I pinned it at the sides and at the shoulder. So I'll be stitching half an inch there. I'll stitch half an inch at the sides and half an inch at the shoulder, because that's the allowance I use at that point. I'm just gonna take it straight to my machine and then sew it, and then I'll show you what to do next. So after I was done joining the seams, I went ahead and then cut out my sleeve and then my collar. The collar I'll be attaching to the dress. And for my sleeve, I went ahead to cut out 7 for here, 7 inches. I just wanted a short sleeve, 7 inches, and then this one measures 2 and then half. So in all, when I stitch it and then join it, I'll have about 8 inches in total. So I'm just gonna go ahead and then join my sleeve to my dress, and then I'll show you how to join the collar to the dress. I'm done joining my sleeve. It looks beautiful already. So the next thing I'll be doing is I'm going to attach my collar to the dress. So in my previous video, I showed 2 ways I cut out and then sew my collar. So if you haven't checked it out yet, you can just go ahead and then check it out. Isn't this collar beautiful? So if you want to learn how to make it, I'll be leaving the link in the description box so you can easily access it. So if you've reached this point and you don't know how to do a collar, please go and watch my tutorial on how to draft and then sew a collar. It's very easy and understandable. Also, in that video, I didn't have a dress. Like after sewing the collar and everything, I didn't have a dress I was going to attach it to, so I had to use a piece of fabric to demonstrate how I join it. But now that I'm working on the dress, I'll be showing you guys how to join the collar. So what I just do is I place, you see here is folded a bit, you just leave it like that, just maintain it like that. So you just place it here like so, and then you pin that point here. So this is my center front. This is my center front right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pin it to the rest of the neckline from that point all the way to the other end here. So I'm done pinning it. When you're pinning the collar to the dress, you're just going to take your time to pin it. So after pinning it, I'm just going to go ahead to mark out my half-inch allowance and then take it to the machine and sew. So I'm done stitching my half an inch at this point. The next thing I'm going to do is I'll just be folding it in like this here. So it's going to be hiding the seams at the neckline here. So I'm going to explain again. After stitching the seams, you're just going to grab the other side, which is this side, and then just place it all over here like so. So it hides the seam in here. So I'm just going to pin it from here to the end and then take it to the machine to sew. So guys, I'm done sewing the collar. See how beautiful it's I've sewn it. And I also forgot to mention that when you're sewing this part, make sure you sew it as close to the edge as possible, like I've done here. Yeah, so look at how beautiful it's looking on the other side. So nice and neat. So after joining our collar, you're just gonna go ahead and then fold it like so. That's the top part here. Just fold it in like so, like I folded it, and then just give it a good press so that it lays flat and neat. So I'm going to work on the hem right now. So when it comes to the hem, there are 2 ways I finish my hem. The first way is to roll it like this. Fold it like this, sorry. So just fold it like this and then fold it again. This is the most common way of finishing a garment. The second way I do it is I go ahead and then use my serging machine to serge it all the way, and then I just fold it in once. Then I stitch on it again. So I'm gonna go ahead and then use my serging machine to serge it and then sew it, and then I'll show you guys how it looks like. So I'm done with the hem. This is exactly what I was talking about. So the last thing we're going to be working on is the zipper. So I got a 30-inch jacket zipper, which I'll be using. If you are liking this video so far, make sure you give me a thumbs up, and also don't forget to like, share, and then subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell if you want to see more videos like this. So before joining my zip, I went ahead to measure, I went ahead to wear the dress so that I'll mark where I want the zip to start. So after wearing the dress, I marked it at this point. That's 5 inches. So I'm just going to transfer it here. 5 inches. So that's where my zipper starts from. So I'm just going to pick my zipper and then place it like so. So this is how I'm placing it, making sure that this tiny metal part starts from the line I marked. Make sure when you're pinning it, you pin it as close to each other as possible. So I'm done pinning one side. I went ahead to separate the zipper so that will be easy for me to pin it at the other side. So after pinning it, I'll just take it straight to my machine and then sew it. And also when you are sewing it, make sure that you sew it very close to the edge here and not away. So maybe like, let's say a quarter, you can sew it up to a quarter at this point here. So guys, we're done sewing our beautiful shirt dress. See how beautiful it looks like. So I'm just gonna go ahead and then wear this dress and then show you guys how it looks like. So this is how our dress will be looking like in the end. I also went ahead to add some side pockets, which I didn't really plan for, but I added it anyway. So you can go ahead and then add that too. So I went ahead to add a waist belt here. This waist belt, if you're interested in adding it to spice up your dress a bit, I'll be uploading a short tutorial on it soon. So you can just go ahead and hit the notification bell and to definitely alert you when I upload the video. Thank you again for watching my video. See you again soon. Bye.